Hi, Joe back here at Roll Call, where we're going to be doing my favorite range gun reviews. And just because they're my favorite, that does not mean they're going to be your favorite. So what I'm asking for is watch the whole video and then comment what guns you prefer and why. So I'm going to go through my 4 favorite right now. Now keep in mind, if I just stayed with one single gun, you could get great at any one single gun. It's a little bit harder mixing them up, but these are the guns that are in my gun cabinet right now. First, we're going to start off with the Glock 17. Then we'll get into the new Walther Q5 steel frame. Then we have the CZ Shadow Custom Shop. And then, believe it or not, the Beretta M9. And I'll explain why that's here. First, we're going to start off with the Glock 17. It's the Gen 4 Glock 17. Why is it my favorite? Well, it just works. It's a very primitive gun, but it works. It's the AK-47 of the handgun world. I was issued this gun about 15 years ago for police work. I went through the police academy about 17 years ago with a Sig Sauer. If you start off as a Sig fan, you stay a Sig fan. If you start as a Glock fan, you stay as a Glock fan. So I started off as a Sig fan, but I had no choice, but I had to carry the Glock. So of all the guns, I feel most comfortable with the Glock, and I have most rounds down range. Keep in mind, this here is just for target shooting, up at the range, bullseye shooting. Tactical shooting, yeah, this is going to remain one of my favorite guns, but this is just one eye open and bullseye shooting. So let's run 10 rounds and see how it does. Going hot. That was the Glock. I feel like I was healing it a little bit. My shots were a little bit high. I'll be honest with you, I haven't really shot this that much since my last qualification, but this is the one I keep on me most of the time. It's truly the one I should be shooting the most. But that is the Glock. Now, what I look for, what works for me, at first is quality. So every one of these are going to fire every time. Quality's got to be there. But what works for me is ergonomics, trigger, and believe it or not, the sights. I have to be comfortable with the sights. I shot very expensive guns that I could not shoot well with at all, just because maybe the front post was too thin and the rear sights were too wide. I had a harder time judging that equal light distance. So for me, the sights actually have to be nice and tight with the rear and front. Let's try the Walther Q5 match. This is the steel frame. They started off the Q5 with the polymer, but now they made the steel frame. Pretty neat gun. I only have a few rounds down range on this one, but I still like it. A little bit more confidence pulling the trigger a little bit faster because it's the Q5 match. The weight is there. It's very comfortable. What I do find happening, just because of the weight, I'm overcompensating when I shouldn't have to. But that's the Q5 Walther steel frame. Next one is the CZ. I'm very surprised that this actually landed in my collection because I always avoided the CZ, and I have no idea why. I bought the first one just to see what it was about. I bought the, this is the custom shop, and I really like it. Of all of them, this is my favorite trigger. Okay, I was holding down the slide catch with my thumbs. That's why it didn't lock back. And And last but not least is the Beretta M9. I haven't shot it in a while, but I always feel really confident shooting this gun. I'll be honest, predominantly because of the ergonomics and the sight more than anything. And again, holding down the slide catch. So what I mean by that right there is the slide catch. With my grip, I tend to press it down and keep it from locking back. It's just something that I have to be aware of. But that's all of them there. And as far as what I like shooting, if it was more of a combat style, it's not going to be the Beretta. But the Beretta, if I really take my time, I always seem to get the tightest groups with the Beretta, believe it or not. And again, I gotta credit it to the sights. For me, it's a weird thing. That's just me. I had really high-end guns that could definitely shoot better than what I could shoot it. And if the sights are not nice and tight, the front and the rear, I have a hard time finding the equal light distance between the front and rear sight. And I usually don't get nice tight groups. But that's them so far, and I don't know which one. If I had to just choose one, I'm not even sure. Probably the Glock, just because I need it for my other job. But if it was just going to be a strictly range gun, it would honestly have to come down to the Q5 and the CZ. They are both phenomenal guns. I like the ergonomics better with the Q5, and I think I could become better with the Q5 than the CZ with enough time behind the trigger. But that trigger of the CZ is just absolutely incredible. So that's my pick. That's my four. And tune in. I will eventually be doing a concealed carry gun of choice, if you will. And please leave your comments. Tell me what gun you like, which one works for you, and why, because I think it helps a lot of us out. And I'll enjoy the discussion. Thank you so much. You can like us and subscribe. We're also on YouTube or Facebook at Roll Call LLC, and thank you very much.